Forbidden news from Canada, folks. Forbidden news from Canada. Jamaican Toronto man calls out Indian security guard for following him around while shopping. This used to happen to me every time. An Indian security guard would follow me in Yoko Yaya. Used to be a store in the Tinseltown Mall. I don't know if it's still there. It's called Yoko Yaya. I would walk in, grab a little cart, a little thing to go pick up supplies for my store. My store was in the same mall as the Yoko Yaya. Actually, my store was actually bigger than the Yoko Yaya. It was a store, with stuff like everyday junk. It's just junky throwaway stuff for office supplies here, supplies there, right? So every time I would walk in, an Indian man, different ones, but usually a guy with a turban, he would follow me everywhere I went. And sometimes I'd get him to hold something for me while I grab something off the shelf and tell him thank you and grab it back from him. He would follow me right around the whole store until I went to go pay and leave. He wouldn't take his eyes off of me. Like I was there to rob $7 in pencils and pens and stuff I need for my store, that I was going to go steal $7 worth of items. So it's not just, so Jamaican man calls out Indian security for following him around. Yeah, they just do that. I don't know why they do that, but they just follow certain people around, right? And Canada Coast Guard attack, China Coast Guard attack, Australia backs the Philippines.
Risky. We think that parties should abide by the UN Convention on the Law of the Sea, and we have consistently said we would not want to see any code of conduct.
So China's falling apart. Their population of 400 million is starting to show. 200 million are over 60. China's falling bad, huge. They're on a resource mineral run to try and get to hoard as many resources and minerals they can. They're getting kicked out of Africa and Asia, every country around them except Pakistan and North Korea like them. So they're not, especially Australia for sanctioning China sanctioned Australia in 2021, 2022 for asking the origins of the virus. And power bank catches fire aboard a China flight here. So there it is. And Paris attacker. Allah made me do it. Pregnant woman among 3 victims stabbed. So he's telling people that Allah made him do it. So why doesn't Allah make you go back to your country where you belong? Instead of, how were these people even allowed in the country? I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand. When I was a kid walking around with my dad and my mom in Toronto when I was a little guy, 5, 7, 8 years old, 10 people would come up to my dad. What are you doing in Canada? What are you Portuguese here for? What are you doing here? And my dad's, we're building the fucking country. Who the hell do you think is going to build this shit? Holy shit. Nowadays, Allah made me do it. Okay. And historic church burns in Pittsburgh, over in Pennsylvania here. Church built in 1857 is gone after a fire tore through the historic building. And, you know who started this. Allah made me do it, right? And another fire here in Lisbon. Yeah, it's lightning. Oh, yeah. In Canada, they would say, that's lightning, guys. That's lightning. That's not arson. Bullshit. Total bullshit, man. And this is a good one. Here, watch.
You actually own the land because it's all owned by the government or the regular.
So what this, I can't tell if it's a guy or a girl, is saying that this is owned. You don't own land in China. It's owned by the government. And you legally get to use your house for 70 years. Watch this.
You legally get to use the house for 70 years. But the good thing is you don't actually pay any property tax. But what happens after those 70 years? Is the government just gonna take it back? Well, honestly, almost no houses in China have actually hit that 70-year mark yet. Because most Chinese people live in this kind of high-rise building. But most of these high-rises were just built in the last 20 years. So none of the rules were still value. What we know so far is that you can keep living here, but you will have to pay some kind of yearly fee to renew it. How much? No one knows yet. But if you ask me, I don't even think this kind of buildings will last 7 years. Take this one for example. This building has been built for 20 years. Oh, it looks just okay.
It looks like shit.
Oh, the inside is already a total mess. Let's show you guys around. This is the community gate. So it's open to everyone, no the security gate. I think it's not safe. The green is good, but just like this building, this is the Hall Star. 哎呦我的妈呀，这是
Yuck.
It's so dirty. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's so dirty. 这太难的了。Oh, it's so scary. I like the ghost house. 哎呦我的妈呀，这
Man, that's gonna be Canada in a few years.
哎呦我的妈 ，so scary. 哎呦我的妈。
All those empty towers across Canada owned by Chinese companies that broke ground and built those empty towers all over the lakeshore. Go to Lakeshore. All the empty towers along Oakville, Mississauga. There's over 1,000 empty towers there.
哎，这 there。哎呦我的妈呀，这。哎呦我去，这怎么跟那个杀个人似的？你知道，太吓人了。So scared. Seriously, I feel like not 70 years, about 50. About 50 years.
That's pretty good, because Chinese warranty is usually 7 minutes or 7 kilometers, whatever comes first, right? But,
will be too broken for anyone to live in. Who knows how the government gonna fix this whole property rights issue in the future. So
don't worry. China's in population decline. You don't have to worry about it. Activists interrupts Muslims during prayer in London.
I'm saying, I don't understand. Why are you praying in the street?
I do it. Why should I?
Because disrespectful.
There's one reason and one reason alone this is done.
Well, doing it as an act of dominance, this is not what we do in this country. This is not what we do in this country. I'm an Islamophobe, I'm not a racist.
That's it. She's an Islamophobe, not a racist.
Well, here we are leaving the roundabout. Get the fuck out of Dodge. I can feel the heat here. This is insane. Holy f***.
That's in Canada, guys. This was posted today. So a fake asylum seeker steals a necklace from an elderly woman on live TV in Greece. Like, okay, right, let's go again. He goes over and grabs the necklace off her and runs. Look, there he goes. So this is the problem I'm not understanding. Why is this guy in the country for? Why is he here? This is what I'm trying. What is he doing here? Like, no casualties reported. Massive fire burns wholesale market in Malaysia, destroying about 90% of shops. And we got Italy. Again, Italy. This is they're hitting the tourist regions. Scotland. This was on the 25th of July. We were covering this on the 25th of July live. Go back and watch the last Mike of the Night. It was a really good episode. And China's official propaganda used racist AI cartoon to mock Philippines. Again, they want to mock the Philippines. The Chinese always want to mock the Philippines, but here's the problem. Everyone loves the Philippines. Right? Everyone loves the Philippines. Anywhere you go. Where do you want your nanny to come? You want a nanny one day to take care of you when you get really old. Do you want a Filipino nanny or do you want a Chinese nanny? Ask yourself that question. They've been mocking them, but it's very funny that the country that mocks the Philippines is the one country that everybody hates. The citizenry of Japan, Australia, New Zealand, Vietnam, Thailand, every country that South Korea, every country that surrounds China hates China, except North Korea and what's that other loser country? Pakistan, right there. Those are the countries that love China. Again, you're just making fun of Filipinos, and again, you're Chinese. You're Chinese. Look in the mirror. And woman alleged force strip search in Beijing. A guy in like a $5, it looks like a $5 Halloween costume. is telling a lady that they have to strip search her. Look at the hat. Everything looks like you spent $5 to buy all this shit. And Shanghai flooding sends sewage through the toilets. So there's been a sewage toilet issue in Shanghai now for a week and a half, 2 weeks now. And there's about 8,000 floodings reported from the toilets. So again, Europeans see, that's when China built stuff. When the Romans, the Portuguese, the Italians build sewers, they work. Now Canada's kicking out and giving aid to the Europeans that built the country. And who's going to fix this? Eh? And internation students, protests happening in Calgary. Again, you're students, you come there, you study, you go home. You're done. You study, go home. Bye-bye. And international students in Canada want to stay. No. You spend your money here with the schools and the lodging, and then you go back home. That's how it works. And Chinese woman hurls racist abuse at Cambodians. And so this girl at the Teco airport called us names because we were checking in at the EVA priority boarding. She came after we did. Yeah, they usually come after in the lineup. Yeah, after we did. And told us to leave because we're poor Cambodians who can't afford business class. Again, you're Chinese. Look in the mirror and see who you are before you start hurling insults at other people. It's the most disliked and hated culture from every other culture in the world except the loser country of North Korea and the other losers, Pakistan. Love China. So what does that tell you? They like to hurl insults at people. When I was with my wife speaks Mandarin because she worked in Taiwan. We get on the elevator in Metrotown Mall in Vancouver, in Metrotown Mall, and they would just be hurling insults in their language, talking like white people are garbage. What are these white people doing here? They should send them to camps. They should murder them, making fun of pregnant women, just making fun of everybody. And my wife tells me, like, this is what they're saying. These are what these fucking people that don't fucking know anything, that can't build fuck all, are telling us. And China bakery worker replaces expiration dates with date labels. So they're changing the expiration date. That's a job. See, it's a full-time job. Helping the economy. And Sacred Heart Church desecrated as sacred images smashed in Brazil. Yeah, they're blaming God. And we are witnessing a revolution across Europe. Ordinary people flood the streets with one clear message: mass deportations. England, Germany, Scotland, Austria, Poland, Greece. There it is. All over. Vehicle runs into people before crashing into a tree. And arrival view, wildfire 15 kilometers from Bordeaux. This is the Bordeaux one we were covering the other day for you guys live on the show. And within 100 days, I will close the borders and eliminate subsidies for illegals. That's in Germany. So, I don't know. Someone's going to have to fix something somewhere, and everyone's going to have to follow suit. Why did the CBC remove this post? Canada has a serious drug problem, and the government is enabling it. It's enabling it because the drugs are coming from China. Every drug in Canada, every street drug in Canada is being laced or manipulated with fentanyl from China. Everything. Street drugs are garbage now. Garbage. Because the Chinese fentanyl trade that's coming in, that Mark Carney, and we told you they're going to have fake fentanyl busts in Canada to show Americans they're doing something about it. We made that prediction. Everyone told me I was fat, and now it happened. And they're trashing a police car here in San Luis. Hoy. Casos en San Luis Potosí tras triunfo de México y Chilaca, México. Lo comenzó como una celebración y la gloria de Morelos. I'm just reading it. I'm just trying to read it like they would read it in their newsreel. New York City crowd chants remove Mandami after Islamist yelled Allahu Akbar. Yeah, we were already on this Mandami guy when he was running for mayor of New York, and we told you guys, this guy's going to win. And people were like, you're stupid. The Muslims blew up the Twin Towers, and we're going to get a Muslim mayor. I'm like, oh, he's going to win. He's not going to win because people will vote for him. It's all fixed. It's all staged. It's all fixed. There it is right there. Another fire here. Where is this? It's French. Somewhere in France. France. And extreme theft at Walmart while security sits by and watches. This guy takes, well, a bunch of clothes made in China at the Walmart there. The guy steals about $85 worth of clothes there. Maybe $90 worth of clothes there. Oh, no, $90 bucks. The Walmart's losing $90. They'll charge you $3,000 for that clothes. Sorry, let me get myself straightened out here. $80 worth of Walmart's losing $80 there, right? And Europe is burning. 250,000 evacuated this weekend. More than 50 homes destroyed as wildfire rips through Norway. We didn't cover Norway the other day. And police stampede at BTE. What is this? Police stampede? What the hell was this? Panic stampede at Bite of Seattle Food Festival. Multiple shots fired. Okay, all right, that's why. London erupts as thousands flood the streets chanting England is for English and protesting against mass immigration and growing cultural tensions. Of course England's for English. Of course. That's what England is for. Portugal's for the Portuguese. Mexico's for the Mexicans. Iran's for the Iranians. I'm not saying that, England has had enough. Over 1 million citizens protest mass migration. And this is in China. Look at the car just floating away. I think it's an electric car just floating down the street. Yeah, see you later, man. They didn't build a sewer or a water evacuation system proper in the city to relieve the water out of. California and other places have these huge ravines that they build through the cities. So when the water, it finds a way to get to it and then it exits through. China doesn't do that stuff because China's not European, right? Cologne. More fires in Cologne. Multiple homes evacuated. Massive 2-alarm fire blazes in Mississauga, Erin Mills. See, in Canada they would say, oh, lightning. It's like global warming. Global warming. Bullshit. It's all arson. And lefties attack local man holding a banner showing migrant rapists. Yeah, you show people who the problem is in your country. You got these boomers and Chinese people that don't like that. They don't like that. They don't like that. Oh, no. British teen says he was suspended for questioning how Islam is taught in school.
I want to learn about my culture, my beliefs, and I'm proud to be English. In school, they were teaching us about Islam, about Prophet Muhammad, and all.
Muhammad wasn't a prophet. More North Africans in Rome outside Colosseum with huge knives ready to rob tourists or do something even worse. Let's make them famous. So there they are outside. Morocco! Maybe Algeria! Duas facas. I don't even know why these guys are even allowed. Something happens to my family if I'm on vacation with this. Oh! 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 Save Europe, re-immigration. Yeah, get these people, get the politicians out, and get to the core of the problems too. Don't just get rid of the visual problem. Go into the internal problems of your country. England, UK, the Chinese with Mark Carney, they laundered in the Bank of England like $3-4 trillion of Chinese dirty money. And you got to get rid of everything, not just the surface problems of the migrants. You got to go in. And that's why Canada will never fix its problems. It'll never touch the Chinese. Never. And migrant attacker blames his victims. Tanzania migrant assaulted 5 women. It was 5 women in 90 minutes, and blames his victims. I don't even know why this man's allowed to exist. I don't know. I don't know why he's allowed to exist there. Why is he even there? And car plows into Berlin Pride crowd, leaving dead and injured. And they're going to realize that these Muslims are not on their sides. Oh, did they say a Muslim? No, hold on. Yeah, see, a lot of the news is not announcing that it's a Muslim man that did that. They're not saying that, right? 250,000 evacuated across. We got this already. I think we got these already. I think we got this one too. Firefighters going out. I think we got these. India's cockroach party supporters rejoice following education. I don't know what he's talking. Cockroach party. The cockroach party in India is doing real well. So let's give them a thumbs up. I don't know what they represent. It's a cockroach party. And I'm putting out more fires here. All right, guys. That was your forbidden news for Canadians.